Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Lynn and I'm Pretty Papercrafts 67. And today we are going to make or start the process of making a flip-flop journal. This will be my design team project for WhichCraftDoYouDo for January. And there'll be two parts in this one. The first one today we'll put the folio or the journal together, and then we'll come back in a second video and do some decorating. But yeah, flip-flop journals, love them. I know that they are not a new idea. They've been around for quite a while now. The first time I came across the flip-flop journal was from Leslie at 507 Willow House Journals, and she put one together using envelopes and things like that. But I have worked a way that I don't need envelopes, so this way your flip-flop journal can be as big as you like it to be. So yeah, we just start off. I've decorated the insides of these, which we'll do in the next part. But yeah, this flip-flop journal has 3 signatures. So your cover opens and you've got your first signature, and then some decorated pockets, another decorated pocket, and then we come into our second signature like so, and then another decorated pocket, and then it flips again over to the third signature, decorated pockets and ephemera filled, third signature, another decorated pocket, and then we're back to the beginning. So a really simple concept. You can make them as fancy as you would like them to be, and just a lot of fun. So this is my design team project, and I am going to use vintage papers set 4. Now what I have done, I have printed the paper onto, it's not a heavy weight cardstock, it's a light cardstock, but I have printed onto that, and then I've just printed some additional papers to put over my white at the back. Once we've put it all together. But yeah, very simple. So what you need to make this style of flip-flop journal is you need 4 pieces of cardstock patterned paper. I probably would suggest you use something a little bit sturdy, because these are going to be the covers, the foundations of the book. And you need 1 piece cut to follow my measurements, you need 1 piece cut at 8.5 inches high by 5 inches wide, and then you need 3 pieces cut at 8.5 inches high by 5.5 inches wide. Now the height is really personal choice. Well, the whole thing is personal choice, because you can make these really tiny or you can make them quite big. But yeah, that's the measurements for the one that I'm making today. So what we want to do on these 3 pieces here that measure 8.5 by 5.5, I'm going to take those to my scoreboard, and I just want to score down the left hand side of the page at 1/2 inch. So we're just going to score 1/2 inch on all 3 of these. So that's 1, 1/2 inch again, that's 2, and then 1/2 inch again. Right, and that is all the scoring that we need to do. Okay, so now on these 3, we're on the score lines. I'm just going to fold them up, and what we're doing is creating like a hinge. Just like that. And then we're going to be sticking all these together, so it's going to work out like a big line of paper. Now I'm just going to mitre on all the scored edges, all the scored pieces. I'm just going to mitre just my top and bottom corners, just to sort of, so that they hide well, that you won't see that there. So just I'm just eyeballing just a little snip off each one, top and bottom. Like that and like that. Like I said, just eyeballing this part. No measurements there at all. Okay, so now we'll have 3 pieces that look like this, and one piece that looks like that. Now I am using, as I said, this is the vintage papers set 4, and even though this one is all over the place, it still to me has a direction, and it's still this way. So in the next step, if you're using a directional paper, in this next step you just want to pay particular attention to your directions, because we'll be turning them upside down and so forth. So you pick your first couple of pages, you pick the pages that you want, how you want them to go, and I kind of think that looks nice. They're all different colors. In this particular set there are quite an amount of colors in this one. Beautiful, beautiful set. I use this. This is an older set, but I use it all the time. I will link below to all the kits that I'm using for this project, and to the WhichCraftDoYouDo social media pages and things. So yeah, look down below in the description box for that. Okay, so I'm going to put these 2 to the side for this minute, and we're going to first of all put these 2 together. So what I basically want to do is I want to turn them this way, turn this flap that way, and again just make really sure that if you're using directional paper that they are both in the right direction. Now it's very, very simple. I'm just going to fold that over a bit, and I'm just going to, I want them to sort of line up pretty close top and bottom, but I want to leave around about 1/8 of an inch in between each page. So I'm just going to lay some glue down on this flap. Like that. And then just, again, you can use the mat, I'll use the lines on your grid mat if you've got one, which sometimes I do, sometimes I forget all about it. And just sort of give that about 1/8 of an inch between each page, and then just basically fold that over like that. And there you have that one put together. Now we're just going to follow suit all the way along and glue these 4 pages all together exactly the same way as that. So again, making sure that your directions run in the right way, flip it over, and again just line it up. Put a bit of glue down. About like that. Line them up, giving yourself about that 1/8 of an inch in between, making sure that that top and bottom, the top and the bottom of each page is fairly level. And then just fold that. Oh, now see, I moved that one. I'll just take that off and do that again. Okay, so we'll just keep that like about that. It's just a little bit of, about like that, and then we'll fold it over. Hopefully that's worked okay. So basically you just want to make sure that that can fold just like that. And then we've got the last one to do. Now don't worry about your sections here at the back, because if you're using a single-sided paper, we will cover those up with some extra pieces that I've cut. So this is the last one we're going to put together. So we're making sure our 2 are in the right direction, and we're just going to fold them over and do exactly the same thing again. And again, line that up so that it's level. Bring that one in as close as about 1/8 of an inch, keeping the top and bottom, and folding it over just like that. Okay, and that is the basis of my flip-flop journal. So I know they're lovely with the envelopes and everything, but I don't always have a lot of the envelopes, and then sometimes that confuses me a bit. So doing it this way, anybody can make one whether you've got envelopes or not, because you don't use any. So now what you basically want to do is you're going to concertina fold. So you've got your 4 pages, and so this one's going to be our cover, and so we are just going to accordion fold or concertina fold, however you want to say it. And there you have your flip-flop journal. So it just goes over and goes over and goes over and over, just like that, simple, easy. So now I'm going to just quickly decorate my back, and again I'm just making sure that I'm doing it in the right orientation, and I've just cut another 4 pages to fit my height of 8.5 and my width of page, which is 5 inches. So just to make it a little easier to see the crease, I'm just going to do just some really rough inking up and down these creases, or these joins, so that I can see where I'm to keep my next lot of papers in. Okay, so that's just really for my benefit, so that I can see where my edges are, so I know where I've got to lay down my next set of papers in between, because you want them in between these 2 score marks. All right, so for that I'm just going to use a bit of glue stick, and I'm just going to start laying them down. As I said, I've got another 4 pieces cut here, so we will just get those done really quickly. And how is everyone today? Monday already. I can't believe it's this year already is just flying by. This glue stick is very sticky, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to go on very well. So I just want to make sure I've got a good coverage of glue, so that everywhere sticks where it needs to stick. Once I've put it together, not on video, unfortunately I can't do it, but I will sew around the complete edge of my cover. All right, so just kind of eyeballing, but keeping it as straight as you can, top and bottom, and around all those edges. And that's our first piece down. Now I'm doing this because of the thickness. As I said, this cardstock is quite thin, and I've printed, if I had a thicker cardstock, I would have printed double-sided, and then you could avoid this step. So that's just something to remember. If you've got, if you're printing and you've got a good thick cardstock, then you can just print double-sided, and then you'll avoid this whole second step. But anyway, I wanted to, because it's my design team project, I'm using these papers, and I didn't have thick cardstock, so we're doing it this way. And then it will be nice and sturdy. And especially once I've sewn all around the covers, that too tends to make it a lot stronger on all your edge points and things. Alright, so I'll just grab another one. Now again, like I said, I want to get in between those 2 scored areas. And we're just going to lay it down like that. Give it a bit of a burnish so that all the glue sticks where all the glue sticks. And if you do go over just a little bit, it doesn't matter, because you can just come back and trim or ink. Alright, now we'll go on to our 3rd page. Again, smearing the glue. Yeah, so Monday. Oh, I'm going up to my sister's tomorrow again, hopefully to get this job completed this time. I have very little left to go, so a couple of, or maybe 3 days should do the trick this time, and then it will all be done. So I'm really happy about that. All right, so we'll just stick this one down. And again, I want to stay in between those two score lines. And pop that one down. I'm getting glue stick everywhere. And then lucky last, this one here. I don't play very well with glue stick. And sorry for my squeaky table. I don't know, glue stick and I just don't kind of have a good relationship, I don't think. All right, and again, we're just going to keep it on this side of that score line and just try really hard to keep everything nice and level. All right, so there you go. That is the basis. That's the covers all done. So my blue is my front cover, and then it will go like that, and it will go like that. So you will open it. Oh, hang on, I folded that wrong. I want my front to... Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. So we open it that way, that way, that way, that way, and then back to the beginning. So I think they're also called like a forever journal or something, and they just keep going round sort of thing. So now this is quite wet, so that will just take a little bit to dry. I have inked all around my area, but you would probably need to ink again. There's a section there that probably could do with a little bit of a trim, but then sometimes too, ink will hide a lot. So I'm probably just going to wait until that dries before I make that decision. It's a little bit off on the top there, but it really doesn't matter. All right, so as for signatures, please excuse me. I have gone ahead and I have cut my signatures. Now I knew that my height of my book was 8.5 inches and the width was 5.5 inches. So I cut some signatures at about, oh, I don't know, what are they? About an 8 1/4, so that it will sit inside the covers, and then again at about 4 3/4, so that it will tuck nicely inside my cover pieces. So all I've done, I've taken 10 pages, and these are all coffee stained. Apart from 2, I've put 1 page of this script paper in there, which I did buy from the ladies. I'll link that below also. And I put in just 1 piece in each signature of vellum or tracing paper, whatever that is. So our first signature, I'm going to want to place in this section of my journal. So you've got your front cover. So the first fold, that will be where my first signature will go. And then we will have a fold in there for our second signature. And then a fold in there for our third signature. So that will be what the book is going to look like. We'll have 2 signatures on this side and 1 signature there. So that doesn't seem right. Hang on, guys. I think I folded that wrong because that just doesn't seem right. I did want that blue cover as my front cover, but it looks like I can't. That doesn't matter, and that's only evident because of my topper, but that doesn't matter because I really want my first signature to be in there. So you've got your front cover, open it up, our first signature, Then we have the concertina, like the big fold in the middle. And then I want my second signature to be there. And then as that folds over, I want my third signature to be there. It doesn't matter either way, but that's just, for me, that's better. So when you open it up, you've only got one page. The other way I had like a double fold for my first page and it just didn't feel right. Okay, so I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to sew these signatures into place on camera because that just doesn't work. But I have sewn them into place in this journal. Now let me find, in just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. But instead of bringing the strings out into the middle of my signature, I've sewn it in the opposite way. It's because I just wanted my strings to come out the back of the signature so that I could just do some little button strings on those signatures. But usually you will fold it so that your strings come through the middle, but you know, not fold it, sew it in so that your strings will come through the middle of the signature instead of the out. But that's again a personal choice thing. All right, so that is pretty much the basis of the book. Signatures are in, not completely, but they're in place. And now I just thought, well, we might decorate the front cover. Because for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, journals really aren't complete, or aren't, I don't know, I'm funny like that. When I make my journals, I like to put the bones of the book together. But before I go ahead and do much inside the journal, I always like to do my front cover. So I have just grabbed a few bits and pieces out here. I've got a piece of corrugated cardboard that I've just pulled the top layer of, and I've squashed it down and I've inked it with some distress ink and just sewn all around it and roughed up the edges. So that's going to be our base. Then I have grabbed a vintage postcard. Now I get these from the ladies at WhichCraftDoYouDo, and this one's dated the 20th of 1st, 1908. So it is an actual real postcard and it comes from Paris. Isn't that pretty? So I will be covering a lot of that up. I just sort of want that date to be sticking out a little bit, sort of like that. Then I made a tag with the offcuts from my actual paper. So, and I've just again sewn all around that and sort of inked up the edges, and I kind of want that, I want it to be all sort of all over the place, just a big layer up of things. I've got a bit of film strip here. I've taken some pages from my inspiration pack, which again I'll link that below, from the ladies, and a playing card, and I've just sewn all of those together really roughly, and I kind of want that to sit about there like that. And then I have taken one of the gentlemen from the Vintage People set 1, and I kind of want him to sort of be bold on the front, on the center. And then this one here, I've just taken some sticks from the garden and I have wired them all together. I've popped in a tarnished safety pin, a little laser cut tag, and then I've just glued that onto some cheesecloth, and I'm just going to mount that right on the side there just to give us some height and some interest. So there you go. That's going to be my topper, my topper for this journal. So we will put all of those together. Now I'm thinking I might just use, what have we got? I've got a bit of Tiger's Grip here, so I might just use this one because that's quite bulky. And I'm just going to keep the topper on there. So the first thing I want to do is lay down, and it does seem a shame to cover all that up, but that's okay. I do have more. So I'm just going to give that a really good, and I like to use the Tiger Grip because with bulky pieces, it is a very, very good glue. So I'm just going to kind of lay that down right there. And I'm not going to stick it all to the edges and everything because I want it to have that kind of floating look. Okay, so now we've got our big tag, and I want that sort of so that it hangs from down the bottom, and I want that postage stamp sort of showing. So I just sort of want it there. So again, I'm just going to pop some glue down and keep my strings out of the glue and just sort of put that around about there kind of thing. All right, and now a piece of film strip. I want these little numbers to be poking up, these little numbers that come on the film strip. So I'm sort of just going to off-center that a bit and pop that about there. Again, I'll just put a line of glue down there. Now, usually I wouldn't do that on film strip because you will be able to see that glue, but I will be hiding it behind this piece here. So, and that piece I sort of want sticking over that way a bit. So I'm going to sort of do that. And again, just pop down some glue in areas. Bring my strings out and sort of off-center that way. And then we'll take our gentleman here and we're going to kind of put him around about there, I think. Around about there. I've just backed him onto some black cardstock just to give it nice, to make it nice and sturdy, but to give it kind of that black shadow behind the actual figure. So I'm going to sort of put him around about there. And then we'll bring in our sticks and we'll just sort of put them along there like that. And I'm just going to stick down where that cheesecloth is. And, oh, glue's dripping, and sort of pop that straight down there. Now that will take a while to dry. Just bear in mind if you are doing something like this, this is quite high off the page and you just want to make sure you've got some flat areas at the back so that you've got connection for where you want to glue it down, if that makes sense, so that, yeah, you've got somewhere to anchor it to your page. So there you go, that is my topper, and I will have to wait for that all to be completely dry. Before I stick it down on my book, I will want to sew around all the edges of my cover. So I will simply with the machine sew all the way along there, and I will also sew down the middles of my joins here with a zigzag stitch just to really strengthen them up. But there you have it. There is the bones of a flip-flop journal that you can easily put together if you don't want to do the envelope style. Sewing your signatures into place is no different than sewing them into a single journal. You just take each section at a time and you sew them in place. And yeah, I do find it a little bit difficult to sew signatures in the best of times. So for me, it's always a challenge. But yeah, the process is really no different than if you were just sewing them into a single. You've just got 3 signatures to maneuver around. But there you go, guys, a flip-flop journal, yeah, using cardstock or cutting your own cardstock instead of using envelopes. I love it. So my design team project part 1 for WhichCraftDoYouDo for January 2024. Now, when we come back in the next video, we're going to decorate the inside with pockets and so forth, and I'm going to be using some of the vintage ads. This is vintage ads set 1. So I'm going to be using all of these advertisement pieces to make pockets and to decorate the insides. I'm also going to cut some more pieces, some more images from the Vintage People set 4. I've also got some numbers here from, what one's that one? The Vintage Bits and Pieces set 2. And I will pop the links for all of these down below. But yeah, I did sort of want to put a number on him as well. And I do like this big one right here. We might just put this one down here. I'm just picking this one because it is the blue shades. And I just love a number. I'm really not sure just where I want to put it. No. No. I might just even just lay it straight down there like that. So I'll just ink up around the edges a bit. Now, also don't forget about the discount code for subscribers to my channel. The ladies at WhichCraftDoYouDo have provided a code for any of their digital product in both their Etsy and their online store. I think it's 25% off of any digital product. So again, yeah, if you like to work with digitals, the ladies have got so many beautiful digitals over there in their shop. So definitely head on over and check that out. And I will leave the discount code for that below in the description box. You just apply it at checkout, and then your discount will generate. But there you go, guys. That is part 1 for Design Team Project January for WhichCraftDoYouDo flip-flop journal. So yeah, I can put the measurements for those cardstock pieces down below if anyone is interested. But yeah, if you love doing flip-flop journals but you don't always have the envelopes, then give this one a go. It's such a fun project to put together. All right, everyone. Yeah, please enjoy Monday. Monday already. Wow, I don't understand where these weeks are going. Yeah, I probably won't get back now for the rest of the week because I'm heading off tomorrow up to my sister's, and I'll be there until Saturday. But yeah, next week we will come back when I'm home, the week after, which will still get me in by the end of January. We'll come back and do some decorating on the inside and some pockets and so forth. All right, everyone, please have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me today. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.